Okay, the next thing that we have to do to this truck today is we've got to repair this. The original hand crank busted off, and so I've been having to use a pair of pliers to open and roll the back window up and down. So we're going to go ahead and try to get that repaired today as well. We've got a replacement piece for it now, so we're going to show you how we do that. All right, now the first thing we got to do is roll the window down. As you can see, this is why I want to get this replaced. And you can see in here where the original latch broke there, and that piece there had been broken off for quite some time. This thing was still on here when I first got it, but it was only being held on by the one side. I didn't realize it, and as I was rolling the window down, it snapped off. So we're also going to be replacing the hinge pins for the tailgate, but those are rusted in there pretty bad. And seeing that this is a family-friendly channel, I don't think I'm going to video that. Okay, next thing we got to do now is remove this back panel. Now, I have removed this back panel before to get this window regulator serviced a little bit better, because it was not doing well when I first got this thing. Probably why the handle broke. Sure, I got everything loosened up here. Okay. That is the sealing material that is not wanting to come loose. There we go. Oh, as you can see, we have the window glass that's in the way of everything. Now, it is generally a bad idea to on these kind of vehicles to go ahead and roll the window out without having it supported by anything. So what we're going to do is we're going to close the tailgate back up. We're going to roll the window up, and then we're going to go around inside and get that one bolt loose from inside. Then we'll have to climb back out around, get the new window crank ready to go on there, back on. It's going to be a real pain, but that's the way we got to do it. So what we're going to do before we get too carried away with any of this is we're going to go ahead and get the we're going to get the new latch out and get it prepped and ready to go on there. What are you getting growly about, puppy dog? Okay, this one here is the old one. You can see this piece here had been broken off for quite some time, and this one here is the one that most recently broke off. Now, you can see this one was black. The new one is chrome. Now, I don't want to go ahead, I want to go ahead and, you know, darken it up just like the original. So what we're going to do, because this new one doesn't have the lock in it. Now, we can swap the lock out from the old one to the new one, but what we're going to do is we're going to pull this handle piece out and replace it with the old one, because the old one, like I said, it's got the lock in it and everything else. So we're going to do that first. We need to get a pair of pliers and a pair of snap ring pliers. Okay, this is the original one. The older one has a different kind of snap ring on it. So this one, we just got to get on there with a screwdriver and pop that loose, pop that up and out of there. And that slides right out. And with the newer one, it actually has a snap ring on it and a little wave washer to go ahead and give it a little bit of tension. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the old one, slide it back in there, make sure that it's going to work. Yeah, there it goes. Put the wave washer on it, and the snap ring. Snap rings are a little bit easier to deal with than the others. So there's that part of it. And then we have this part here, and this is what engages with the lock here, and it also engages with the deal inside the tailgate. And I had the original ones somewhere, and they have become lost to the ages. Make sure when you're doing something like this, keep your hand over top of the snap ring so that if it goes flying, it doesn't go flying off into the atmosphere somewhere, or that one spot underneath the workbench that hasn't seen the light of day for about 30 years. There we go. Now, We've got a good handle for that. And we also have a new gasket for it. I don't know where the old gasket went. But we got all of this stuff from an outfit called LMC Truck. They deal with a lot of these old square body Chevys. They're not sponsored. I'm not sponsored by them by any stretch. But they do have a lot of good stuff. So if you've got an old square body, any of these old 1009s, 1010s, 1028s, and 1031s, or the 1008s, any of the Cuckbee series, and you need parts for them that you can't get at O'Reilly's or any place else like that, go to LMC Truck. Okay. Now we're going to have to go back up with it. And close the window back up. Okay, we're going to have to get to the bolt or the nut for this on the back side, but because we don't have anything to keep this from spinning, we're going to have to put a pair of vice grips on it so that we can spin that loose from the inside, and this will keep it from turning. Okay, now we have to go through this little slot, through that little deal, and that will go ahead and remove the bolt and drop it all the way down into the bottom of the tailgate. We're going to have to get a magnet and get that out of there. Okay, so you can see we've got studs already in there. We're going to go in and we're going to make sure that these studs are in here tight. I don't really want to use Loctite on it because, man, if I got to get those out of there another time, it's going to make it really difficult. So we're just going to put a little bit of tension on it like that, and put it on the right way. Now we got to figure out some way to hold this in place while we go inside to put the nuts on it. So let's go find us some painter's tape to do that with. We'll be right back. All right, I've got some blue painter's tape. I just want to make sure that that this thing doesn't fall off while I'm in the back there. I'm dropping the frickin' nuts for it all over the ground. Normally, if you were doing this replacement in the motor pool, you'd have somebody else helping you, but I don't. All right, let's go back inside and get the nuts on, get this thing tightened up, and make sure it works. Okay, we do have a little bit of room, I think, to get in here and get these things started. You don't want to tighten this stuff too tight, but because it is only a 1/4 20 thread. Oh, come on. All right, we had to do the one thing that I did not want to do at all, which was to have this glass out here exposed. But we ended up having to take the glass loose from the regulator to get the regulator far enough up so that it would clear. That's probably the reason why that one on the other side had never been changed. the one bolt. And it is not wanting to line up at all. Come on, baby. As you can see way down in there, there's some little cutouts. And yeah, there we go. You can see that's where the stud is, and it's just not really wanting to line up real well. Now this is part of it. There we go. I don't know why the other side went on so easily and this one's being such a pain. I may need to, what I think I'm going to do is go get a 1/4 inch drive so we've got a little bit smaller diameter socket. Let's see if this is going to work. There we go. I hope I do not have to take this off anytime soon. And there's going to be a little piece of blue paper down in the tailgate for a long time, so now what we have to do is we've got to roll the regulators back down a little bit and then reattach the glass to the regulators and then put these guide pieces back in. And then, but before we do that, we're going to get some white lithium grease, and we're going to spray the window regulator and some of the mechanisms in here to go ahead and make this so that it's a little bit easier to roll up and down, and a little bit easier to open and close. The hinges we can't do anything about. Those things are rusted in there solid. We're going to have to drill those out, and that'll have to be for another time. But so at any rate, let me go get some. Actually, I have a silicone spray. We're going to try that. We'll see if that works. This stuff is a silicone spray lubricant. It came in with a whole bunch of stuff that I got from an estate that I bought out a few years ago. So we're going to just give it a try. Might as well. I know I tried it on the latches, the outer latches, and it worked pretty good. This stuff supposedly dries, you know, it dries, and so you don't end up with a, you know, with a greasy residue that you know, that can collect dirt and dust and everything else. And because these tailgates, they don't seal up real well, so when you're driving down a dirt road, the dust just floods into these things. bit of the same with the sliders here. Okay. All right, there we go. Now we need to place these. Now we're going to go ahead and close it up and see how that. There we go. Now all we got to do is we'll roll her back down and put the inner panel back on, and we'll be ready to go. All right, now for those of you that have these kind of trucks, don't forget that you got to pull this cover off and lubricate this stuff inside every once in a while. That's part of routine maintenance. If you're just driving them on the road, you can probably get away with it every year or two. If you're driving them off-road, you need to do it a little bit more often. There's nothing worse than getting stuck out somewhere with a tailgate that won't roll down, or window glass that won't roll down, or worse, won't roll back up. If you get into and the window won't roll back up, what happens is the dust, as well as the exhaust fumes, will billow in the back here, and it'll shoot it right back into the cab. I learned that at a very young age. We had a 63 Jeep Wagoneer that had the same kind of roll down window glass, and it wouldn't matter if it was 110 degrees out and we were on the dustiest road in the world. My dad always kept the back window up. And when I asked him about it, I was probably 8 or 9 years old, and I asked him about it. Asked him why we couldn't roll the window down. And he explained it to me. And as I got older and had Jeep Wagoneers and Cherokees of my own, I can verify that if you roll the window down and run down a dirt road, you will fill the whole back of this thing with dirt and exhaust. So, at any rate, that's pretty much about it for today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And remember, please like, share, and subscribe. Share the channel, you know, and that's how we're going to be able to grow the channel this summer. We've got a lot of things planned for this summer, if summer ever actually gets here. It has been, Mother Nature's been really kind of messing with us for this whole spring. So, at any rate, thanks again for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.